My mother's message came through at 3:11 p.m. on a Thursday, right when I was reviewing a client presentation. A single sentence that knocked the air out of me. Apologize to your uncle by Sunday or don't show your face at your sister's wedding. I stared at the screen, rereading it until the words blurred. Apologize? For what? For speaking up? For not letting another one of Uncle Henry's jokes slide? My name is Valerie. Yeah, still Valerie, and I'm 26. A graphic designer at a small but busy creative firm, living alone in a one-bedroom apartment with plants that somehow survive and a life I've only recently begun to claim as my own. And for as long as I can remember, my role in the family has been simple. Keep the peace, even when it destroys you. Growing up, my older brother, Nathan, got the praise. My younger sister, Chloe, the bride-to-be, got the affection. And me? I got responsibility. I was the buffer, the fixer, the one who said sorry before anyone else opened their mouths. My parents never asked for explanations. They expected compliance. Keep quiet, stay helpful, don't make waves. Somewhere along the line, I learned to fold myself smaller and smaller until I barely recognized the outline of who I was. But what my family didn't know, what nobody knew, was that for the past 3 years, I had been quietly saving money. Not pocket change, actual money. Enough to leave if I ever needed to. My escape fund, my freedom account. $8,000. Carefully collected, never touched. Waiting. Let me take you to the moment everything cracked. 2 weeks earlier, Sunday dinner. The kind of dinner where everyone shows up out of obligation, not love. The dining table crowded with dishes nobody really wanted to eat. Uncle Henry leaned back in his chair and started telling a joke. One of those jokes that target people he considers beneath him. Racist, lazy, meant to get a reaction. Everyone went stiff. I felt the familiar prickle of discomfort crawl up my neck. So I said, calmly, "That's not funny, Uncle Henry." The room froze. He stared at me, jaw hanging slightly open as though I'd slapped him. "Excuse me?" he said. "It's just a joke," I answered. "It's offensive." That was all. A simple refusal to let something toxic pass as humor. His face turned red. "Of course, another one of you people who get upset over everything." He pushed his plate back, stood up, and stormed out, muttering loud enough for everyone to hear, "Unbelievable." The door slammed so hard the table shook. And instead of support, instead of anyone acknowledging what happened, my father turned toward me with that cold tone he saves only for disappointment. "You embarrassed this family." No concern, no recognition that I might have felt hurt, just blame. My sister, Chloe, wiped a tear and whispered, "Just apologize, please. My wedding is in 3 weeks. I don't want drama." I refused, quietly, firmly, for the first time in my life. And that was the beginning. The text from my mother came the next day. "Apologize or don't come." They didn't ask my side. They didn't ask what happened. They didn't ask if I was okay. They just demanded that I shrink again. I replied, "I can't apologize for calling out racism." 10 minutes later, her response, "Then you've chosen your path." It didn't end there. I was erased from wedding planning. Bridesmaid group chats continued without me. I found out about the dress fitting through Instagram, a photo of my sister surrounded by her bridesmaids, all in silk robes, smiling. I should have been there. I was meant to be one of them. I called Chloe. She answered quietly. I told her I seen the picture. She said Mom told her it wouldn't make sense to include me anymore. My throat tightened. I asked her, "So I'm out?" She said, "I guess so." Her voice was small. She didn't fight for me. That hurt worst of all. A few days later, I heard something that felt like betrayal carved into stone. I was at a bar with my best friend, Tara, when someone from high school tapped my shoulder. "I heard you were uninvited from the wedding because you caused a scene," she said casually, sipping her drink. "Your parents said you've been difficult." I felt my stomach twist. They weren't just punishing me, they were rewriting the story, publicly, painting me as the villain before I could even defend myself. The comments on my social media shifted. passive-aggressive messages from aunts, cousins posting family-first captions with pictures from the rehearsal dinner I wasn't invited to, a text from my aunt, "Your poor mother. She's heartbroken," as if I had done this to them. And then came the financial twist. My mom called me saying they were splitting the cost of the rehearsal dinner and needed my portion, $250. I said, "You're asking me to pay for a dinner I'm not invited to?" My mother's voice sharpened instantly. "So now you're punishing us financially? This is what's wrong with your generation." I hung up mid-sentence. That night, I opened my savings account. $8,000. Suddenly, it wasn't just a number. It was a door. It was a breath of fresh air. I had been building an escape without realizing how badly I would need it. I had therapy notes, journal entries, screenshots, and documented patterns of guilt and manipulation. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't dramatic. I was waking up. 3 days before the wedding, doing an emergency therapy session, my therapist asked, "What do you actually need from them?" I whispered, "To not need their apology anymore." And when I said it, something clicked. I didn't need their approval. I needed my own permission to leave. That night, I made the decision. I wasn't going to the wedding. I wasn't going to apologize. I wasn't going to stand beside people who only loved the quiet version of me. I called Tara. "I need to get out," I said. She didn't hesitate. "Then book it, anywhere." So I opened my laptop, typed Maldives, clicked the cheapest option, and booked a bungalow over turquoise water at 12:04 a.m. The next morning, I posted a single post scheduled for the exact time Chloe would walk down the aisle. A picture of the ocean taken off Google Images because I wasn't even there yet. The caption, "Choosing peace over pressure." Then I turned my phone off. 3 days of ocean wind, warm sun, no noise, no expectations. I swam, I slept, I stared at the horizon and didn't feel guilty. For the first time in my entire life, silence felt like healing, not punishment. When I returned, there were dozens of messages. My mother wanted a meeting. Not a conversation, a meeting. I went. Calmly, detached, stronger. We sat in the living room, the same place they told me to apologize weeks earlier. My dad started by saying, "Explain yourself." I met his eyes and said no. He blinked. I continued. "I'm not apologizing for calling out racism. I'm not apologizing for choosing peace, and I'm not going to shrink so you can keep pretending everything is fine." My mother's voice softened. "We were just trying to keep the family together." "No," I said. "You were trying to keep me silent. That's different." Chloe stood in the doorway, watching. She whispered, "I'm sorry." And I believed that she meant it, even if it came too late. We didn't snap back into being close, but we started taking slow steps, honest steps. And for once, my parents listened when I said no, maybe because they realized I meant it, maybe because I walked away and proved I could. Standing up for yourself is terrifying when you've spent your whole life being told to sit down. But choosing yourself is not betrayal. It's survival. And for the first time ever, I'm not apologizing for it. If you've ever walked away from pressure disguised as family love, tell me your story. I read everyone, and your voice matters.